Hi everyone. It's 3:45 right now, so I think we can get started. But before we get started, I just want to check in with everyone about our Zoom lab session. I received some feedbacks that saying that my pace for the Zoom demonstration is a little bit too fast, or oops. And so I just want to everyone how do you think about my pace of the lab demonstration? Is it too fast or too slow? Or I will also, when I do the demonstration, I will try to use the chat with Zoom. So I will, like for each step, I will maybe wait 1 or 2 minutes and just to ask everyone if the pace is okay or not. Are you guys good with it? Okay. Now I think we can just get started. So now I will share my Zoom, share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to start our lab 2. And if you go to the ELC folder, we have all these lab 2 files. So for this lab, you will need to download the US states. So that's a state boundary file for the United States. You can just click the drop-down menu and click download. And also the 420 locations, that's the location for all the students in our class. And also NHGIS tract. So this is a GeoPackage file. It's similar to a shapefile, so it's a common file type for geographic data. That's census tract level boundary file for the United States. So you will also need to download this file. So this is all the 3 files that we will need to use for our lab 2. And here's the link for our lab 2 tutorial. Okay. Let me make it bigger. Okay. Everyone can see my screen now. So the title for our lab 2 is Mapping the Money. So in this lab, we will go into mapping census and some other demographic data using QGIS. And for this specific lab, we will going to use NHGIS website to download some census data about household income. And then we're going to prepare that census data we have, calculate the rate of high-income households, and then we will join that CSV file we download from the census file we download from NHGIS with the tract level boundary file we have that you download from ELC, and we will also looking at analyze the community that all the students live in the Atlanta metro area. And then last, we were going to make a final map layout based on this data we have. The final map layout, we will have all the map elements like title, arrow, title, scale bar, all the things. So that's the whole plan for lab 2. But for today's lab, the first part of lab 2, we are only going to finish the NHGIS part. So we're going to register a NHGIS account, download the NHGIS census data, examine the census data, prepare the variable we need to use, and also we will need to load the tract level boundary file to QGIS and as well as the census data and join them together. So that's our plan for today. So let's just get started. Before we start our lab, here's the software and we need to use. So for this lab, we're going to use QGIS. So I just want to make sure everyone has QGIS installed or not. Okay, good. And also, we're going to use NHGIS website to download the census data. So we will need to register the NHGIS. So to do that, you can just search NHGIS. And the first result is the NHGIS website. So click that. So this is the main web page for NHGIS. So NHGIS is a great website that has lots of census data installed. So you can download a lot, all different kinds of census data from NHGIS. And this website is managed by University of Minnesota, I think. So it's a great resource if you want to download census data. So let's just start the registration process. On the upper right part, here's a login button. If you click the login button, it brings you to the login page. And here on the help, there's a link to create an account. So if you click the link for create an account, here's the form that you need to fill out to register. So now I will just give everyone maybe 2 minutes to finish the registration process. So now you can go ahead and register. If you finish the registration process, just sign into the website. Everyone successfully registered the account? You can raise your hand, so I know.
Sorry, I haven't gotten an email yet.
Okay. I'll wait 1 more minute. Hi, Brandon. If you just joined the Zoom, we're doing the first part, which is register NHGIS accounts. If you haven't done so, you will need to search NHGIS in your web browser. And the first result.
And this is different from ArcGIS Online, right?
Yeah. So this is
right.
NHGIS is the website that we need to use to download census data. So search NHGIS in web browser, and the first result is NHGIS website. Click the website, and on the upper right part, we have the login button. Click login button. Oh, I already logged in. Let me sign out first.
You're good. You're good. You said sorry, NHGIS, correct?
Yeah, here NHGIS.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then go to login and then just create an account. All right.
Yeah,
gotcha.
and here under help, here is a create an account button. Click that and just fill in the form to finish the registration process.
Got you. Thank you very much.
Okay. since we we will just wait maybe 3 more minutes, and then we will go on to the next step. So if you finish the registration process, just sign. So Henry, you got your registration finished? Good. Henry, Abby, if you already finished the registration process, you can also just take a look at the tutorial we have for this part. So you're more familiar with the steps that we are going to do for this lab.
They both recognize who the black guy is. Like, oh.
So, Brendan, did you
Yeah, I just finished.
Okay, great. So now everyone just finished the registration process. If you sign in, you should see the same interface as I have right now, right? So the left part is the filters. So here you can apply your filters to query your census data. So we have geographic levels, years, topics, and data sets. And on the upper right part, we have our data card. So here you can see the number of source tables you selected. It's like the shopping cart when you do online shopping. So that's the place you will finally check out all your census data. So for this lab, we are going to download data on household income. So here, the screenshot lists all the filters we need for this data. So the geographic level is census tract, and the years is 2014 to 2018 5-year range, and the topic is the household and family income. So here, we are going to apply this now. So click the geographic levels button. It shows all the geographic levels we have. And in the most popular tab, if you scroll down, we have census tract. So click the little add button. So now census tract is selected, and then we click the submit button. Once you click the submit button, you see on the right of the geographic levels, we have the tract filter applied. And then we're going to filter for years. So click years, and we're going to download census data on 5-year range and check the box before 2014 and 2018. So that's the latest one we can get. So check that and submit. Now we have our years filters applied. And the last thing we need to filter is topics. So if you click the topics, it lists all different topics we have for census data. So for the big category, we have population, housing, agriculture, business and industry, technical, and some other subjects. And under population, we also have some sub category, like the general one, the total population, demographics, race, ethnicity, and those all different kinds of topics. And the one we need is under the income subcategory, and the one we need to download census data on household and family income. So check this add button before household and family income, and then click submit. So now we've applied all 3 filters we need, right? Now you should see here under the source tables, they have 136 source tables that meet our criteria. And the one we need to download is this one. The table name should be B19001. And the table name is household income in the past 12 months. If you check the tutorial, this is exactly the same here. It's B19001. So just check that table. Make sure you are download the right table. It should be B19001. It's the household income in the past 12 months. So now we've selected our source table. So this is the table we want. And if you go to the upper right part, you see in the data card, we have 1 source table selected, right? So this is the place we download census data. In NHGIS, it also provides you option to download GIS file associated with that data. So now we are in the source tables tab here. On the 3rd tab, there is a GIS files tab, and you see there is the result. This is the GIS file for 2018 census tract boundary. So if you need GIS file, you need the shapefile associated with your data, you can check the box here. You can just check that and download it. But for this lab, we're not going to download it. Dr. Shannon already provided us a census tract boundary file in ELC. So we already have NHGIS tracts geopackage file in ELC. So we already download that. So we do not need to download it here. But if you're going to download census data for your own research or for your own project, that's a place you can download the GIS files. Okay, now once we've selected our data, we will go to data card and click continue. And keeps going, continue. Here in the review and submit page, we can just keep all the settings as default. And then we click submit. Okay, once you click submit, it brings you to this extract history page. So your page, if you're new to NHGIS, your page should be pretty empty. You probably only have 1 extract history. I have many because I've downloaded data many times. Here, it shows the records of your extract history. And you should see that your extract the status is queued, which means we're in the queued process. So it usually takes like 3 to 5 minutes for the website to process our request. So what we need to do now is just wait. Well, you can keep reloading the data, or when the data is ready, they will send you an email notification to your email account when you register the website. So we just keeps reload the data. Now you can see under the download table data column, it's still codebook preview, so it's not ready. If it's ready, it should have a tables link like this. So we'll just wait. Okay. So now I once I reload my web page, I have these tables link here. It means that my data is ready, so I can go ahead and click the link and download it. So if you have the tables link ready here, just click the tables. It will automatically start the download process. So if I go to my downloads here, I have my NHGIS CSV, this zip folder. So that's the census data we want. So once you have that download, just move this file to your own Lab2 folder. So just paste it to your Lab2 folder. Why it takes so long? Let me see. Okay, so now I have this zipped folder in my Lab2 folder, right? Everyone is in the same page. Everyone successfully download the census data. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to unzip that folder. It's a zipped folder, so you can just right-click 7-zip extract to, or you can double-click this zipped folder and just select all the things within it and move it out to your folder. So once we unzip the folder, we open that folder, you will see we have 2 files in that folder. The first file is a Excel CSV file. So that's the actual census data we want. It includes all the numeric data we want. And the second one is a code book. The second one is a TXT file format, and it's a code book for our census data, just like the metadata for our census data. So if you click and open this code book, it lists all the information associated with this data. So like data summary, the year, the geographic level, data set that this data belongs, and the tables. So the table name, our unit is households, source code, blah, blah, and data dictionary. So it has the, the left part is the variable name we have for the table, and the right part is the explanation for that variable name. For example, the GIS join. So this GIS join variable is the table that we're gonna, the variable that we're gonna use in the later part, that we'll use this variable to join the CSV data with our tracked boundary file. It's like a unique identifier for each feature. If it's tracked level data, that is unique identifier for each tract. And then if we move down under data type, we have 2 data types. One is estimates and one is margins of error. So the one we're going to use is the estimates. So the estimates is the actual data, the actual estimate for the variable. For example, here, AJY9E001 is the variable for total households here, for the total number of households. So this gives us the actual estimates of total households in each tract. For the margins of error, the variable name is pretty similar, but it's not the actual estimates. It's just margins of error. It's just statistic margins of error. So when we actually prepare the data, just make sure you do not mess up these 2 different variables, because the variable name is pretty close. The estimates is AJY9E, and the margins of error is AJY9M. So just don't mess up these 2. And yep, and if we go back to our lab assignment. So it says for this assignment, we will analyze the rate of upper income household, those exceeding 100,000 per year. You will have to combine counts from 4 variables to do this, and look through the metadata and identify the relevant variable codes. So here in our code book, we have all these 17 variables. The first variable is the total household counts. And here, each variable represents the counts of a certain household income range. For example, for AJY9E014, this variable gives you the counts of households in that tract that their household income is between 100,000 and 124. and 125,000. So that gives you the counts of household in that income range. And according to our assignment, we are going to calculate the rate of upper income households. And to define upper income household is those households that their income is above 100. Oops. Their income is above 100,000. So here, what we actually need to do is add up these last 4 variables, right? So if we add up those last 4 variables, it gives us the number of households that their income is above $100,000. And if we add up the last 4 variables and divide it by the total number of households, it gives us the rate or the percent of high household, the rate of upper income households, right? So is the explanation clear here? Any questions? Good. Okay. So now we are going to calculate the rate in Excel. So now we are going to open our Excel spreadsheet. So click the Excel spreadsheet. So once you open the Excel spreadsheet, you should see similar things like mine. So we have all these variable, just join year, and some variable is empty. Just don't worry about that. That's normal. And here, if you move to the right, from like all this part is the estimate. So that's the variable that we're going to work with. And the last part is margins of error. So just make sure you don't mess up these two. And here, for example, here in this table, each row or each record represent a census tract. So for example, here the first row is a census tract in Alabama. And if we go to the estimates here, remember AJY9E001 is the total number of households. So here for that census tract, it has 765 total number of households, and then AJY9E002 is the number of households that their income is less than 10,000. So in that tract, they have 31 households that their income is below 10,000. So that's just an explanation of each record. And then we are going to calculate a rate for high income household. But before we do that, we will also need to clean the data set first, because we have some tract that they have 0 household or 0 population. And there's also some other records, their total population part is blank. And if we do not delete those rows when we do the formula and do the divide, it will cause error. So the first thing we need to do is just clean the data set. And to do so, we were going to use the filter tool that we used before. So similar to Lab 0 and Lab 1, to do the filter first, you do Control A to select all the data. And then go to Data tab. Go to Filter button. Now we have this drop-down menu for each variable. And now find the variable for AJY9E001. That's the estimates for the total number of households. Click the drop-down menu under that variable. So now it lists all the values for that variable. We unchecked all of them. Then we are going to check the one with zero number. So check 0. And then if you scroll to the bottom, we also have blank cells. So check the blank. So here you should have 0 checked and blanks checked. And then click OK. Now the filtered result is all the tracked with 0 households or blank households. So if you scroll down there, they are all 0 households tracked, or like these are blank tracks. So those are the records that we will need to get rid of. So once you have the filtered result, you select the row number, you select the first row number, and just drag it all the way to the last one. Yep. Oops. Sorry, my Excel is freezing. Just give me 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
So just select all the records. And then once you select all the records, right click and click delete row. And then it will delete all those tracks with zero population or blank population. So once you delete all the result, you can just clear the filter. So click the clear button. Now it goes back to the normal data. And you can click the filter button to exit the filter mode. Any question for that step? Good.
Can I just click Control A to delete all of it?
If you do Control A, I'm not sure because that's in a filter mode. Control A might select all the data, not just the filter the data.
Okay, because my Excel is also freezing.
Okay.
So.
I'll wait like 2 minutes. Also, if you do Control A, it also select the column name row, the variable name row, and you will delete the variable name too. So don't do Control A. Just select the first row and drag it all the way to the bottom. So Henry, is your Excel working now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I guess we can move to the next step. Okay, so now we've cleaned our data, and then we are going to create a variable for our rate, the rate for high-income household. So just on the last column, just here, type in your variable name. You can use, for example, percent income 100K. But for demonstration issue here, I will create a rate for for the number of households that income is above 125,000. So I will do this. So I will create a variable is percent income 125,000. But remember, for your assignment, you need to calculate the rate of households that's the income is above 100,000. So once we create our variable name, we can use formula to calculate the rate. So here, just double click the cell and click input equals to parentheses. Remember, our plan is to add up the last 4 variables and divide it by the total, right? So here, if you have equals to parentheses, and then we will go to, we will add up the last 4 variables for estimates, right? So you will need to add up this variable, this cell, and then the AJY9E015 cell, AJY9E16 cell, value for that one, and the value for the last one. So we will add up these two numbers and close your parentheses and divide it by. So you input divided by, and we're going to the number with the total number of households. So we'll click this one, and then you hit, and then you multiply that by 100. It gives you the percentage of high income households, the percentage of households that their income is above 100,000. But here for demonstration issue, I will create the percentage of households that their income is above 125K. So I will not include the this variable, but make sure you are adding up the last 4 variables and divide it by the total. And then once you have the formula inputted, you click, you hit enter. Now you should have your value calculated for the first row, right? Mine is 17%. Yours should be higher than my number, maybe 20 something. So once you have that rate calculated for the first row, we can apply that formula to all the rows in our data set. And to do that, you will double click the right corner. Double click the right corner. It will apply that formula to all the rows. So now we've calculated the rate for all tracks, right? So if you scroll down, and this is the data set that we are going to use in QGIS. So after you apply the formulas, just save this data set, click the save button. Or you can do a save as if you don't want to mess up with your original data set. So you can save as another data set. You can call it income 125K. Yours should be 100K, and make sure the type is CSV. So just save your data set. And then you can close this data set. And now we're going to use QGIS. So the next part is QGIS. So just go to your start menu, brings up your QGIS. While we are opening the QGIS, any question for the Excel part? Oh, good. Okay. And before we do the Excel part, Brandon, just make sure you download all the data set from ELC. So in ELC, we have US states zipped folder. All
right.
Just these 3 data sets.
Gotcha. Appreciate you. By the way, my mic is kind of off, so like, can you hear me now? I was making sure.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, my mic is sometimes off, so if I don't reply when you put my name, it's not because I'm not
That's
there.
fine. So once you open your QGIS, you should see similar interface like mine. Everyone has the data ready and QGIS open. Okay. I will start the next step. So now we're going to add our 2 layers to this to QGIS. So the first layer is this NHGIS tracts layer. So it's a geo package file. It's a vector layer similar to shapefile. You can just treat it as shapefile. And then we are going to add the census CSV file we just download and prepared. So to add the layer, we go to the layer button on the upper part. On the upper part of QGIS, there is a layer button. Click layer and click add layer. Here we have a bunch of options for different kinds of layers. First, we're going to add vector layer. So click add vector layer. Here it shows the this window, and then we are going to click the 3 dots. Here now you can just browse to your Lab2 folder, and we're going to import the NHGIS_tracts geopackage file. So click this file. So this is the boundary tract level boundary file. And click open. Now click add. Once you see the files is added to the map canvas, you can just click close. So now we've had our tract level boundary file added to our QGIS. So you can see this is each feature is a tract. And now we're going to add the census data. So our census data is in CSV format. It's comma delimited text layer. So to add that kind of layer, similar here, go to layer, go to add layer. Because it's comma delimited text layer, so we're going to choose add delimited text layer. Once you choose that, under file name, click the 3 dots. Just browse to your own just browse to your CSV file. So the one has the one you have the rate variable. So click that file, click open. And remember here, there is a tab for geometry definition. Expand the geometry definition, choose no geometry. Because for that CSV file, we do not have any coordinates. So you just choose no geometry and then click add. Once you see your table name shown here in the table of contents, you can close this window. Now we've successfully added our household income census data. You cannot see anything from the map canvas because it's just a CSV file. There's no coordinates associated within it. Now we've added these two layers. Any questions or any trouble with adding these two layers? All good? Okay. Okay. Now click the NHGIS tract layer. Just select the NHGIS tract layer. So select the tract boundary file, right click. There's a open attribute table option. Click open attribute table. So this is the attribute table associated with that boundary file. So now you can see we only have 8 variables. It's just pretty simple variables associated with this boundary file. So like name, GeoID, GIS join. So remember, we also have this GIS join in our CSV file. So this is the unique identifier for each tract. So both this tract boundary file and our census CSV file has this GIS join variable. So we can use this GIS join variable to match these two data together. So we call that join in GIS. So you see now this tract boundary file doesn't have other information. So we're going to join that census. We're going to join that census data with this tract boundary file. So now we can close the attribute table. To do that, to do the join, we will right-click the NHGIS tracts layer, go to properties. And this is the property window for that layer. And click the join. So it has many tabs like source, symbology, and click the joins tab. So that's the place we will add the join to. So click joins tab, and now it's empty. We don't have any other file or data joined with this tract boundary file. Now we will add a new one to that. So click the add button here, the little plus button. Here for the join layer, just choose your census CSV file. It should be automatically chosen because that's the only CSV file we imported in this QGIS project. And for the join field, click the drop-down menu, choose GIS join. For the target field, we also choose GIS join. So GIS join is the variable that these two files share. So we're gonna use GIS join to match these two data. And here we can leave all other options as default, but for the custom field name prefix, if you check the box, you can customize your prefix. For default, it will use the table name as a prefix. But if we use that, it will make the variable name too long. So we will just delete them, leave it as empty. So check the box before custom field name prefix and just delete everything in that text box. Just leave it as empty and then click OK. So once we click OK, you see there's one record shown here in the window. And then we click apply. And then we click OK. Now we can see if the census table is successfully joined with the boundary file. So right click the boundary file, open attribute table again. Now you see, instead of the original variables the boundary files has, it has all the census variable included, and included the rate variable you calculate, right? And in the attribute table, if you click the column name, it can sort the records from largest to lowest or to the lowest to largest. So now you should see that your NHGS tracked boundary file has all the variables in your census data, include the rate variable you created. And now you can close that. So that's all we need to do for today's lab. And for next week's lab, we're going to create a complex map based on the rate variable and do some further analysis and making a final map layout using those data. But that's all we need to do for today. And before you go, make sure you save your project. So now we have these two layers in this project. You can go to the save button, click the save button, and just maybe go to your Lab2 folder and give it the name to your project. You can call it Lab2 and click save. So now we've saved our project. So the next time you do the lab, you can just double click the project and it will bring up to the same interface here we have, and all the layers will be there. If you don't save the project, you will need to do the join again. So now you can close the project if it's successfully saved. And now if we can test if it's successfully saved. So go to the folder you saved. So I saved my project as Lab2. If I double click Lab2, see, it has all the layers I have restored, right? So now we can close it. And that's all I have for today's lab. Any questions? Any problems? So if you don't have any questions or problems, you are free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.